So new chapter, that is ray optics. First of all, optics divide into two types. One is ray optics or geometrical optics. Other one is wave optics. They call physical optics also, that one. And we'll see about different properties of light. First one, rectilinear property or rectilinear propagation of light. So light travels in a straight path, and that is about rectilinear property that they gave information in the lowest standards. Now in this chapter, in ray optics, we have two properties of light. That is reflection of light. Reflection means when light falls on the smooth surface or a surface, it will be bounced back into the same medium. That's what you call reflection. And the next one is a refraction. So when light enters from one medium to other medium, then a small change in the path is there. That's what you call refraction. So these two we studied, these two properties we studied in ray optics. And other property, interference, superposing of two or more light waves, and how intensity, amplitude, power changes, those they study with in interference property. Diffraction, and actually light rectilinear property explain that light travels in straight path, but a small change is there in the path of the light, even it is traveling in the same medium. Suppose medium change is there, that's what you call refraction. Without change in medium also, a small change in the path is there. That's what you call diffraction of light. Polarization, light has two components. That what you call unpolarized light. If you pass that light into a particular type of crystals, and that filters one component, it allows other component, and that type of property what we call polarization. These three properties we have in wave optics, next chapter. And other one, photoelectric effect, when photon will be absorbed by an electron. Suppose if photon is hit with electron, then some of energy will be exchanged between them. That effect, that thing will be explained, that property will be explained in the dual nature of matter and radiation chapter. Okay. Now in this chapter we have only about reflection and refraction of light, ray optics. Now we'll see about reflection of light. A reflection of light, that is bouncing back of light into the same medium. For example, you can take here AB is a reflecting surface. We are drawing a normal on the surface. N is a normal for AB surface. A ray of light is incident with respect to normal. It make an angle I, and after hitting the surface, it bounces back into the same medium with an angle R. That is what you call angle of reflection. This is angle of incidence. So now we'll see about some properties of reflection of light. Here first one, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle R. So here I and R are always measured with respect to normal only, not with respect to surface. So this I and R both are equal. Angle of incidence, angle of reflection, both are equal. And second rule, that is second law, that is the incident ray, reflected ray and normal drawn on the surface all should be in the same plane. So that is second law. And third one, that is about deviation. What is deviation means? When light is fall on a surface, suppose if you can take this is the surface and this is the normal drawn, and you can think like incident light fall here like this with an angle I. We know that reflected ray also make an angle, same angle I here. But actually if this surface is not there, the light ray has to go like this. But now it is going in this direction. So how much angle it deviates? This is the angle deviation. Angle of deviation D is equal to this total angle is 180. We need this angle. That angle is 180 minus this 2I. So what is the deviation of a reflected ray? 180 minus 2 of incident angle. That this is the formula they give here. D is equal to 180 minus 2I, angle of deviation. What is the loss? Angle of incidence, reflected, both are same, and all three, that is incident beam or incident ray, reflected ray, normal should be in the same plane, and deviation is 180 minus 2I. Now we'll see types of reflections. Two types of reflections we have: regular reflection or specular reflection, And that means here regular reflection, what happen if a parallel beam of light is incident on the surface, generally this happen on a smooth surface, then what happen, reflected beam also parallel. Suppose if a parallel beam is incident on a rough surface, irregular surface, then what happen, and reflected beam is not parallel. Even incident beam is parallel, but reflected beam is not parallel. So this is what we call irregular reflection or a diffusion reflection. But in both cases, it follows loss of reflection. Angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection here or here. In both cases, it follows. So regular or specular reflection, irregular or diffuse reflection. Now we'll see some properties of incident ray and reflected ray. You see that here, if incident ray rotate through an angle delta theta with respect to normal, then reflected ray also rotate through same angle. So for example, you can take here, this is a reflecting surface and normal AB, incident ray, suppose take example 30 degrees is incident, with respect to normal make 30 degrees. You know, reflected ray also make same angle 30 degrees because angle of incidence and reflected both are same. Now what they are doing, this reflected ray rotate through small angle. Suppose now like this, you can take this angle, you can take it as 15 degrees. So you see now what is the angle with respect to normal? Last time 30, now 30 plus 15, that is 45 you get now. So angle of incidence equal to angle of reflected. So this also make, you get a new ray here which is making 45 with this. So how much angle reflected ray rotates? Last time it make 30 degrees with normal. Now it make 45 with the normal. So how much extra angle it shifted? That is 30 degrees it rotate, 15 degrees it rotate. So incident ray rotate 15 degrees and reflected ray also rotate 15 degrees. Suppose if it is moving away from the normal, this also move away from the normal. If it move towards to the normal, that also move towards to the normal. Suppose here how much angle changes? Here also the same amount of angle changes. That only they gave here. So the angle of the incident ray rotate through an angle delta theta, then reflected ray also rotate through same angle delta theta. And second point, if the reflecting surface is rotated, if reflecting surface is rotating, this surface is rotated, this AB is like this, and now it will be changes like this, then how much angle this rotate, that is reflected ray rotate, and but keeping an incident ray fixed. Incident ray fixed, but reflecting ray rotate because of rotating of the mirror, or you can take this is a reflecting surface. For that we'll see one example here. And this is a reflecting surface and normal. You can think A, B and normal N. And initially incident ray make an angle 30 and reflected ray also make an angle 30 degrees. Now what happened? This reflecting surface rotate through a small angle like this. It will be rotate like this. A dash, B dash, it rotate 15 degrees. 15 degrees. If the reflecting surface rotate means normal also rotate. You get a new normal. N dash like this, which is making 15 degrees with the initial normal. Because plane rotate means normal also rotate. So incident ray rotates means normal is not rotating. But plane rotate means normal also rotate here. So now what is a new angle? Last time it is 30 with the normal. Now new normal is here. So now this angle, why? Because incident ray is not rotating. It will be stay there only. So 30 and here it become 15, total 45 here. 45 is the angle of incident. With respect to this new normal, what is the direction of reflected ray? Reflected ray is 45. So why 45? Last time 30 and this side 30. Now new angle of incidence is 45 without rotating. Angle of incident ray is not rotating. Normal is rotating because of surface rotation. Surface is rotate through 15 degrees. 15 degrees. So this also rotate 15 degrees. Now angle between incident and normal increases by 15 degrees. So 30 plus 15, 45. So reflected also 45 here. And now what is the angle between incident and reflected? You see this total angle. It is 45 plus 45, 90 is there. And last time this incident and reflected ray. What is the angle? 30 plus 30, 60 is there. So how much change we are getting? That is 30 difference we are getting. 30 difference only because of reflected ray. Why? Because incident is keeping constant. Incident ray is not changing its direction. Only reflected ray changes. How much change is there? 30 degrees changes. But mirror rotated only 15 degrees. But reflected ray rotate 30 degrees. That means if mirror rotate delta theta and that reflected ray rotate 2 times of mirror rotation. That only they give here a point. If the reflecting surface rotates through an angle delta theta, then the with respect to normal, then reflected ray rotates through an angle 2 into delta theta. There in example we discussed 15 it rotate, this reflecting surface rotate 15 and the reflected rotate 30 degrees. Now we'll see about mirrors. There are 3 types of mirrors: plane mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror. And now we'll see about plane mirror. See plane mirror, nothing but one side they silvered and other side they polish. Suppose if you take a concave mirror, convex side silvered and concave side polished. And convex mirror means concave side silvered and convex side polished. This is a plane mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror. These two are curved mirrors. Now we'll see about plane mirror. So in plane mirror, and if you are placing an object here, O is object at a particular distance from the center of the mirror. The center of the mirror they call at the pole of the mirror, and this line what they call principal axis. And if object is placed at U distance, image also forms backside at same distance. So image distance is V, object distance U, both are equal in case of plane mirror. And height of object, height of image also same. Height of object is HI, height of object HO, and height of the image is HI. Both are equal. And always it forms erect, standby image. Suppose if object is like this and here also it forms like this. In some cases it forms reverse images. Some mirrors are forming reverse images, but it forms erect images. So what is the nature of plane mirror? Same size, same distance and erect images. Virtual image. Virtual images means we can see through the mirror that image, but we can't catch on the screens. So those type of images are called virtual images. And if you are catching image on the screen, like in cinema theater we can catch on the screen, that what you call real images. So this is virtual image. We can see but we can't catch on the papers or on the screen. And what about focal length and radius of curvature? You know that suppose if a curved surface is there, if you extend this curved surface until it forms a sphere or a circle, this distance, center to surface distance, what you call radius of curvature. If you take a flat surface like this, you can extend this line up to any distance. It cannot complete the circle. That's why radius of curvature for this flat mirror is infinite distance. So radius of curvature is infinite and focal length also infinite. What focal length they define? How they define focal length means? Suppose if you take a concave mirror, a parallel beam is fall on the concave mirror, that will be focused at a particular point. The distance between this focus point to center of the mirror or pole of the mirror, that what we call focal length. But if you take a flat mirror here, a flat mirror, a parallel beam is incident and then the parallel beam is reflected back and goes to infinite. So it never focus and at any distance. So that's why focal length for plane mirror also infinite. So focal length of plane mirror is infinite, radius of curvature also infinite here. You see that properties and focal length infinite, radius of curvature infinite. It always forms virtual erect images backside of the mirror. Always backside of the mirror it forms. And at the size of the image, size of the object, both are same, and distance of the object and distance of the image also same. This is about plane mirror properties. Now we'll see some applications on a plane mirror. Now this is a plane mirror, and object OJ is placed at some distance u, and image forms at the same distance. We know that at same distance it forms image name is IG. It forms, of course, you know, height of object, height of the image is same, distance of object, distance of the image also same. What happen if this object is moving away through a distance delta x? Then image also moves same distance delta x away from the mirror. So object is moving like this means, and image is moving like this. So object moving, and from, you see that from right to left it is moving, and this moves from left to right, means opposite direction it moves. Same distance, it moves opposite direction. So what you can say, if object is moving through a distance delta x, then image also moves same distance delta x, but in opposite direction of the object motion. So delta x of image is equal to minus of delta x of object. How much distance object moves? Same distance, image also moves, but in opposite direction. One, if you see this moves away from the mirror, that also away from the mirror, means opposite direction they are moving. Now other case, keeping object constant. Here object they keep constant, only mirror moves backside. Mirror moves backside means what happened? Here mirror moves backside means this image moves 2 times of mirror motion, 2 times of mirror displacement, the image moves backside. Example you can see here. First we'll see about first case. That is a mirror position, and object is here initially, you can think at 50 centimeters, and where image forms at 50 centimeters only. Now object moves a little bit this direction. In this direction, here new position of object O dash. Suppose 10 centimeters it move. Now what is the distance between object and image? That is 60. Object and mirror, 60 centimeters. You know that according to properties of plane mirror, and image also forms at 60 this side. 60 centimeters here I dash we get. So this moves 10 centimeters. This also moves 10 centimeters this. So delta x of image is equal to minus of delta x of object we get. That is about first point. Now about second point. If mirror moves, what happen? And this is our initial position of the mirror, and object is somewhere here, OJ, here 50 centimeters you can think distance, and image also IG also at 50 centimeters distance from the mirror. Now what mirror, we are moving mirror little bit like this, 10 centimeters we are moving like this, 10 centimeters. Now what is object distance from the new position of the mirror? 10 plus 50, 60 centimeters is there. According to properties of mirror, what happened? Here object is 60 centimeters means image also get 60 centimeters backside. Somewhere here you get 60 centimeters backside we get. Now what is the distance between the object and the image? New position of image here to here, that is 60 plus 60, 120 centimeters is there. In previous case 50 plus 50, 100 centimeters is there. What is the difference? 20 centimeters. So object is not moving, only image is moves. How much distance image moves? 20 centimeters it moves. So if mirror moves 10 centimeters and image moves 20 centimeters, then we can write delta x in image is equal to 2 times of delta x in mirror, not object, mirror. Object means same only we get, opposite direction. Mirror means same direction plus we are getting. You see that how mirror is moving in the direction, image also shifting in the same direction. That's why plus we have to take here. Okay. That is about a second point here. You see that if mirror is moving through a distance delta x and of mirror, then what is shift in the position of image? 2 times of delta x of the mirror. But in same direction plus we are getting here. plane mirror moves through a distance delta x, then image moves through a distance 2 delta x in the direction of the motion of the mirror. Now see another application of a plane mirror. Suppose you can take an object is there, an object of height HO, and a plane mirror is fixed on the wall. That is height of the mirror is H mirror, and a person stands somewhere at a distance XP. XP is the person distance from the mirror. He starts observing that backside object which is having height H0, which is at a distance XO. XO is distance of object, XP is the distance of the person. And to observe this total height of the object, what is the minimum size of the mirror required? That we are going to calculate. A person stands at a particular distance XP distance from the mirror, and object distance is XO from the mirror, and what is the size of the mirror required to observe this object completely. So for that, you see, this is the object and here is the mirror fixed and the person stands here. And you know, if the extreme end of this object, the light coming from this or ray coming from this is fall here, and when it absorbed by the person, then only we can see complete image. Similar same thing happen from other side also, like this we can take. So this distance they gave as X person, and this total distance they gave as X object. This height is height of the object. This is height of the object by 2 from here to here, and this total height is height of the mirror, and this part, only this part is height of the mirror by 2. And to complete this triangle, same thing, same point at same distance, that side you can take here. It form a bigger triangle like this. Extend this line. Now take this angle as theta. What you can write tan theta value? Tan theta is equal to opposite from here to here distance is H mirror by 2 by adjacent this distance. This distance, you know, mirror reflection only. This distance XP and this XP. We can take like this. Using bigger right angle triangle, this triangle over. Now use this right angle triangle. Here 90 degrees. For same angle, tan theta is equal to opposite height of the object by 2 by this total distance. You know, from here to here is x0 distance of the object, and here to here we know that is x distance of the person. Actually mirror reflection from here to here distance, here to here distance, both are same. So what you can write, height of the object by 2 by this total distance x0 plus xp. We can write. So what is the height of the mirror required? Height of the mirror required is equal to height of the object into xp by x object plus xp. This is the formula needed. So height of the mirror required, the height of the mirror required is equal to height of the object into xp by xo plus xp, we can write. Suppose in this case, and person he want to see himself only. So there is a mirror and person stands somewhere here, person stands somewhere here. Himself he want to see his whole image with the help of a mirror. What is the size of the mirror required means? You know that the person XP and XO both are same. Why? Because object is himself only. Object and observer both are same only. So person distance and object distance both are same. That we can substitute in this equation. What you get? Height of the mirror required is height of the person. Here object person only. That's why height of the person into height distance of the person by distance of person, both are same. So 2 times of distance of person. So this get cancelled. Half of the height of the person, mirror height required. To see himself, a person required a mirror of half of his size. He can stand anywhere. He can see completely his size, his whole body with the help of half of his mirror size, half of his size. If the height of the mirror is half of the person height, then he can see completely his image. So that is one first case. The height of the mirror required to see himself, how much required, height of the person by 2 required. Suppose same thing, if you take another application, there is a perfect square room is there. Person stands at the center and they fix a mirror here as a mirror. We don't know height of the mirror HM. What is the height of the mirror required to view whole backside wall, complete wall, to observe this, and what is the height of the mirror required? In that case, what is the distance of the person? Distance of the person is half of the distance of the room. Why? Because he stand at the center. So size of the room is, you can take side wall of the room is A, you can take A by 2. And where object is placed, nothing but wall only. And what is the distance of one wall with respect to other wall? That is, an object is A. So then what you get in this equation? Height of the mirror is, height of the wall is A into, and person where he stands at A by 2 from the mirror, by A plus A by 2. That you can write here A square by 2 by 3A by 2. So you get A by 3 we get. That means a person stands at the center of the room. The height of the mirror required to view complete backside wall of the person, that required, he required height of the wall by 3. Height of the wall by 3 required. Another application of plane mirrors. If two plane mirrors are placing like this, making an angle theta, inclination between them, and an object is placed between them, how many number of images are formed? The number of images are formed, we have one formula, it is n equal to 360 by theta. Suppose if you get this value is even number, if you get even number, then you have to take n minus 1. Suppose you see theta between these two mirrors is 60, then how we are getting 360 by 60, that you get 6 we are getting. So if this is even number, that's why number of images formed between them is 5. Suppose if it is odd number, then you have to check that where we are placing object. We are placing object on a symmetrical line, the line which is making equal angle with these mirrors, that what you call symmetrical line. If the object is placed on the symmetrical line or either side of the symmetrical line, here or there, depend upon that we can choose the number of images. Here if it is on symmetrical line, for that also minus 1 only. Suppose you can take theta equal to 72, we get n equal to 360 by 72, 5 we are getting. If it is on non-symmetrical line, if the object is on non-symmetrical line, then same only you can take n 5, and odd number that only can take. Even number means it doesn't depend upon it is on symmetrical line, not symmetrical line. It is always minus 1 only. But odd number means check that if the object is given on symmetrical line or non-symmetrical line. Non-symmetrical line means same number. If it is symmetrical line, then object is on the line, that is a symmetrical line of these two mirrors, then you have to again subtract 1, then again n minus 1, that equal to 4 you get. Suppose if n value you are getting fractional value, suppose you can get n equal to 3.6, then remove that fraction value and take that value only integer you have to take 3. Even if you are getting a value like this, suppose for example here you are getting 3.6, you are getting some other value, you get 3.11, some other value 3.99 you get. So in that case we have to remove this fraction. Don't make it round off, it is nearly 4, but don't take 4, only you have to take 3.99, and it is nearly 4, and not like that. You have to remove the fraction, whatever the value, maybe it is very high value, but remove that and take only the integer. So that only they give a point here. If n is a fractional value, the number of images formed is nearest lower integer. Nearest lower integer, whatever the fractional value, even if it is 7.999, and remove this and you can take it only 7, not 8. Nearest lower integer we have to take. If it is n value, you get fractional value means. So important here, if it is even, minus 1. Odd means check that. Symmetrical line means subtract 1. Non-symmetrical line means no need to subtract. If it is a fraction, take lowest, nearer, and nearer, lower integer you have to take. Whatever the fraction, remove that integer you can take. So the number of image formed when two mirrors are inclined each other, these are different cases we get. I'll see another application of plane mirror. There are two plane mirrors which are inclined at an angle theta. You see that in the diagram. And a light ray is incident on one surface and reflected, and again incident on second surface, and finally come outside. In this case, what is the deviation on first surface, what is the deviation on second surface, what is overall deviation, and some special cases we'll see now. Here you see two mirrors are there, M1 and M2, and inclination theta is there, and one of the surface and I draw here a normal on the first surface where it hit the mirror. There I draw a normal, and with respect to normal, what is angle made, that what we call incident angle. So if I is incident and reflected also, same only, I only. What about with respect to the plane of the mirror? You see this is the normal of the mirror, and this total angle is 90. If this is I, this must be 90 minus I. This angle is theta. What about this angle? 180 minus 90 and minus I minus theta. That what you get, 90 plus I minus theta we get. And now this ray is incident on the second mirror, and here what is angle of incidence means you should talk about with the normal only, n only we have to take. That's why what we are taking, this angle we know, that is 90 plus I minus theta. This total angle is 90. 90 minus this. If you do 90 minus this total angle, we get theta minus I we get. Now new angle of incidence is for on second surface, theta minus I we get. Of course with the same angle it will be reflect back. And this angle, these two angles are same. This is 90 plus I minus theta. This also 90 plus I minus theta. And this angle 90 minus I, this also 90 minus I. 90 minus I, theta, and 180 minus theta, and minus 90 minus I, and total get 90 plus I minus theta. This is theta minus I, like this you get. What is the deviation due to first reflection? So total deviation is deviation due to first reflection plus deviation due to second reflection. And deviation due to first reflection, you know what is the deviation formula? On any surface, if the light is incident with an angle I, then 180 minus 2i. So on first surface, with what angle it is incident? With I. That's why what is the deviation first surface? 180 minus 2i. On second surface, with what angle it is incident? Theta minus I. That's why d2 is equal to 180 minus 2 into theta minus I. That we get like this, 180 minus 2 theta plus 2i. If you add these two, d1 and d2, we get d is equal to 360 minus 2 theta. I get cancelled here. That means, you see, with whatever the angle of incidence, 30, 60, whatever the angle of incidence, deviation, total deviation is not depend upon angle of incidence. It depend upon angle between the plane mirrors. So deviation of a pair of mirrors which are inclined each other with an angle theta, then deviation is equal to 360 minus 2 theta, which is independent of angle of incident on the mirrors. But you see here, it depends upon angle of incidence. On single mirror, on single surface, it depends upon angle of incidence. Here it is not depend upon angle of incidence.